Roberto Litzenberger, thank you for taking some time to talk with Backgammon Winning Women to enlighten us around the BMAB. Now, it's so funny. BMAB, I mean, Karen Davis, my co-founder, throws it around all the time. I really didn't even know what it stood for, but I've looked it up. I've done a little homework. It stands for the Backgammon Masters Award Body, and I understand you're the man in charge. So what I'd hope to do today is really explain to us exactly what the purpose is and who should be paying attention. At what level in our play should we start to look at this and decide whether we're going to participate, and a ton of other questions. So let's begin at the beginning. How did you get involved, and what do you think about it, and why is it so important?
Okay, let me start by saying when I got involved, I'm a person in charge. I'm one of the tournament directors for the BMAB in the USA. There's several, there's several of us directors that do several. Jeb Horton, Ben Friesen, Dmitry Obakov. Between us, we kind of run all the different BMAB tournaments that are throughout the US. And I think this year it's running on, there's going to be about 13 or 14 total throughout the US for the
Now,
year.
now, are those online or in person or both?
No, BMAB is always on. It's always live. So basically, what a BMAB tournament is people are guaranteed a certain amount of rounds. It's going to be a 4 or 5 round tournament. There is a winner, and the winner is based on whoever wins the most matches. Whoever goes either 4-1 or 4-0, 5-0. Depending.
But you can lose 4 matches and you could still be playing. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. You get to keep playing. So it really ends to a real kind of, solidarity type atmosphere, because people are just really trying to play well. They're playing backgammon. I think people are less tense because they're not worried about just about winning. Everyone's kind of trying to play well. When BMAB started, probably around 6-7 years ago, at first it was a lot of, they went after a lot of the big grandmasters to get names that people were doing it. And there was this perception that everyone played well because everyone's PRs that were coming out.
By the way, that has not changed.
Low.
That's not changed. That's still what I mean. It never occurred to me I should be involved in this in any way.
Yeah. Well, at first it was just, it was all the, just the top people doing it. But over time, we've really gotten a lot of intermediate people involved. First, it was kind of, run of the mill, mid open level people, and lots of intermediate and even novices. Because people really feel like they're really competing with themselves. Because you get a record back, you get to see how well you played, you get all the transcriptions of all the matches that you played, because all the matches are recorded, they're sent out and transcribed. When it started 7 years ago, we might get the results 2 weeks later. Now you're normally getting the results within the same weekend. They get sent out transcriptions kind of a lot faster now. We've organized the teams to get it done, quite fast. So people feel like they're competing against themselves. Not just do they win, but they say, well, how well did I play? And they can really go over their matches and, and look at it. A lot of tournament people record all of their matches, but this is kind of it's an easy way in one tournament that everyone's kind of doing the same thing. All the matches are the same length. And so it's really good. So people might play, a 12, and the next time they're thinking, oh, can I play better than a 12? Am I improving? And then BMAB has, different titles based on how well people play once you reach a certain minimum amount of experience points. An experience point is like the match length. If you play one match of 9 points, that's 9 experience points. So if you played in a BMAB tournament that had 5 rounds of 9 points, that would be 45 experience points. Once someone has 100 experience points, you can start kind of getting graded and say, okay, this person is a intermediate 2 or an intermediate 1. And depending on the PR, if you're at a 12, it might be 1, and 11, you kind of go down and have a rating. Once you have a rating, it stays with you for your whole life, just like in chess. If you reach a master levels 3, master level is when you click below master level 3.
Well, let's start a little.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I tend to do that. I tend to keep
Welcome to the world of most of us players. Let's not start in at the master level. Let's start in a little earlier than that and say, right from the get-go, you'll get assigned a rating, right? And that's the rating. I love what you're saying about we can move up our own ranks, right? So that's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
people
talk
get to
about the
see how
lower
they
level.
normally play, so that people know, oh, I normally play, let's say, a round of 15. And if they get back and they play the tournament and their average is a 13, they're happy. And if it's higher, but it takes a lot of time really getting matches back to know what someone's average is. I mean, true average it's tough. I mean, it's a hard thing because everyone's perception is that we're better players than we are always.
Well, but also, you know what else it does, which I think is even more important, maybe, is there's such a luck factor in backgammon that quite often we'll say, oh my God, they were so lucky. Turns out they weren't quite as lucky as you thought they were, or vice versa. You weren't quite as unlucky as you thought. It's one of those things where it really will give you an overview, not just of how you played, but how you played in the context of the entire match, the luck quotient, but the person you're playing against as well, right?
Correct. Yeah, you get to see from the entire match and from that whole tournament. I mean, it's all the luck is compounded. And you can kind of see it, it's not just from one match. You see, over the 5 matches, how people do. You'll see how many decisions were their total. And it really makes it like the whole 5 matches were one match when you get it back.
Now, Roberto, how do I have to pay extra for this? How does this work?
Well, normally in a BMAB tournament, there's normally there's an entry fee, which is normally here in the States, and it doesn't have to be. It's normally that's 100% return. So let's say you're paying $100, that's 100% return, and then there'll be a registration/transcription fee, which could be anywhere from like $75 or $100, and that goes for all the recording equipment, paying for the transcriptions, and if there's snacks or coffee or something at the place, that's all in one. And so then it's just a regular tournament, and you play and you get all the rounds. And
so do I have to sign up if I decide, okay, I'm going to try to play some of these tournaments? You said I think you said 19 or 14. Which one is it?
This year total is about 13. We just announced there's going to be another one now in December in LA again, which hadn't been, but Ben's going to run that one. I'm about to go to St. Louis and run one there. Going to have one in DC in the Capital Classic in mid-November, and then there'll be one in LA at the end of the year. And
what we're going to do is we're going to start posting in our monthly newsletter. We're going to post what tournaments are coming up that have BMAB, because even if you're not playing in the bigger tournament, you might want to start, if you're just starting to get into competition, it might be a good thing to start, because what you bring home to me, which is why I wanted to do this interview, was, look, Chris, you don't have to be an advanced player to be doing this. It's a good way to work on your own game. And so I love that idea. We may have people coming in just to play in the BMAB, so.
There is, for sure. I mean, when I ran, the first tournament I ran by myself, the BMAB, because I'm normally run a lot with Dimitri. We like working together. But I was in Atlanta last year in the spring, early in the spring. And most of the people that came in were a lot of people that had worked with me in the past as students or have known it. And there was a huge group of kind of intermediate players that were there. And it was really fun. And some people had never participated in any tournament before in their lives. Most people did stick around for the main tournament. Not everyone. I think there's at least one person that had to go. They could come in, do a one-day event. BMAB is normally all in one day, or there might be one round the next morning or something like that. But normally it's all kind of all compact into that. And people have a good time, and it's a lot of matches. As I said, you're guaranteed those 5 matches. Even if you lose the first 4, you're still playing.
Now, you're not penalized if you only do 1 or 2 tournaments a year, right? It doesn't matter.
Oh, of course, there's no penalty for how many or how few tournaments you do. Although I do kind of have a big announcement related to BMAB that I'll share going forward when I'm asked about it.
Which is? I'm asking you about it.
Oh, you're asking me? Okay, then let me go ahead and tell you.
I'm asking you, is there something new coming that you'd like to share?
Well, we're actually on the brink. We're going to form kind of like a BMAB circuit league. So all the matches that you win will count, sort of like a BMAB points race. It's separate, kind of like there's an ABT, American Backgammon Tour points race. There'll be something like that. It'll be worded differently. a little bit based on participation, and each round won will count towards points. So even when you're playing and you're, 0-4 and you're playing around, it will make a difference on points that you get, solely based on kind of wins and kind of participation, just to kind of connect them a little more one to another, so it's not just a bunch of things floating around. We thought it would be a little fun to kind of put something all together, and the directors are going to add basically money to that, and then the winners throughout the year will get trophies and some sort of monetary prize as well.
Well, it's interesting because when I looked at the levels, and for example, the lowest level in there is intermediate 3, and it shows a PR value of 16.00. And then it goes down or up from there based on how you're looking at it. And then the intermediate 1 is a PR of 12. So this is definitely within the range of a lot of the women that we're trying to get to engage more at intermediate competition. We're trying to move everybody from playing to competing. So this is just perfect for our group in there. I can't thank you enough for walking us through. And we're going to start to put on our website and everything else how you can participate. And what's the next tournament? We're putting this out in October, mid-October. Give me the next 2 tournaments.
Well, mid-October, so not enough. And there's going to be one coming up here on Wednesday. So this is mid-October now.
Yeah, we won't be
playing on Thursday, coming Thursday in St. Louis.
Yeah.
After that, there's going to be a BMAB at the Capitol Classic, which is mid-November in Washington. I believe that date is, I know it's going to be on the Thursday.
Thanksgiving, maybe? Just kidding.
No, so it'll be November 16th.
Okay.
Thursday, November 16th, at the Capitol Classic around DC. That's going to be in Herndon, the Marriott Suites there. And then at the beginning of December, I think it's actually the second week of December in Los Angeles, there's going to be a BMAB there. Same place that the tournament's held in Los Angeles, which is at the Los Angeles LAX Hilton.
Great.
There on Century Boulevard.
So for those of you who are watching, this should give you the basic overview of BMAB, and we'll be putting links up on our website, backgammonwinningwomen.com, and we'll be putting information into our monthly newsletter that Roberto will be providing for us and making sure you know what's up and coming. So we hope you'll all join. We hope you'll all start participating. And I just love to end on the positive note that you talked about it's a great way to compete against yourself and to add that luck quotient in at the same time.
Knowing the luck, it's really fun. I mean, we're doing one thing for like in St. Louis, of the tournament ones that I do to kind of mix it up, is $100 is going to be awarded to the person that's actually the unluckiest. So once everything's added up and transcribed, some person has the worst negative luck. The unluckiest person will get like the full registration fee back out of the prize.
What's the worst luck number you've ever seen?
Oh, it's hard to gauge exactly.
I assume you show it what the luck quotient is.
Yeah, no, but you see accumulated of like, let's say of 4 matches or 5 matches.
Okay, yeah.
And so, but normally there'll be someone that have like a -20 or something, or -18.
Oh my God.
The accumulative of those 5 matches. And that's pretty bad. That would normally, that would.
I've never seen a -20 on any match I've ever played ever.
Well, not one. Well, see, yes, it's not one. So you have 5 matches total. It's not the average luck. It's the cumulative luck.
Oh, okay. Well, that
like
even so, that would be 5. I've never seen 5s hardly. That's very rare.
Oh yeah, no 5. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
That's run of the mill. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I guess you've never been unlucky.
Well, you know what? I go in with, first of all, I always get a parking space whenever I'm looking for one, because I go in knowing I'm going to get one. So I think my game is totally my own fault. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. The problem with my game has nothing to do with my luck. It has everything to do with me and focus and working on it and everything else. So,
Well, everything has strategy. For parking, the strategy is when you're going somewhere, grab the first space you see. You're either going to walk a little more, you're not going to cycle back. You're just going to save a lot of time. You see it, you know you have it, you know what you have, reduces volatility. You just get it.
okay, is that what you're teaching in backgammon too? The first move you see, you should take it. I don't
No,
think
no, not the first move. Just I like lowering volatility. You know, I do
I
think
understand. I understand.
if you're not sure, there are moves that will kind of that have a better chance of being correct than others. So you kind of grab and positions that are going to be more familiar to play from. So in backgammon, if you're unfamiliar, you know, if there's two different moves and you're not sure which one's right, but one you're going to know how to play from that position, it's going to be an easier game for you to play. You should definitely do that.
Oh, I love that.
The more positions that you don't know, you know, you're not going to be sure.
Well, that actually, I have never heard that before. And what a wonderful ending to leave on a tip from Roberto, who, you know, it's just that's really amazing. Which one would I rather play from next? That's a brilliant, brilliant thing to add in. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
And thank you for today. And we're going to look forward to seeing all of our peeps at the BMAB.
Cool.